Hey guys, it's Menlo from the Museum of Mysteries. So a bit ago I was called a name because of how I build commander decks in Magic the Gathering. The name was the Magic Hipster, because I don't like playing the same decks as other people, so I tend to abandon decks if I see someone else building it. And honestly, I kinda dug it, so in the future my openings might be a bit different. Anyway, I've also been toying with the idea of posting my deck builds after I decide to abandon it for something more unique. That aside, today, I'd like to talk to you about a card that was reprinted in Commander Masters that no one is really talking about, and I think it probably gets overlooked a bit too often. In game design, for card games specifically, the most powerful thing you can do is draw cards. That's why today I wanted to talk to you about Idol of Oblivion. 2 generic mana for an artifact that taps to draw a card, but only if you created a token this turn. Low key, this is a kind of underrated card that shouldn't be 50 cents or 25 cents or whatever it is, which is why I picked up like 5 or 6 copies like 3 weeks ago, just because of how many cards this thing can draw you in a game. This card is so good that in the Commander Chaos draft I played in the other day, I became the archenemy because this drew me like 10 cards before getting removed. Granted, in draft, there isn't always a ton of bombs to draw into, but card advantage is everything. And if it had been a regular game of Commander, oof, I would have been killing it. Anyway, this card's also only gonna get better. I understand this isn't Rhystic Study. It isn't gonna draw you 4 cards around, I get it. But it's going to draw you an extra card per round more often than not. So you might be wondering, like, what evidence do I have to support this? So for starters, I went to EDH Rec to get some less anecdotal information and to see how relevant this card is in the average deck. And here's a small statistic I found. 31 of the top 100 commanders in EDH create tokens or want you to be creating tokens. And that's just the creatures in the command zone. And every year, it gets easier and easier to make a treasure or food or a clue or a soldier or knight or dragon or blah, 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 right? And guess what? They're all tokens. Now, I'm not saying put this in every deck, but let's get some practical examples. When would this draw you cards? And I'm going to use something that was released more recently, actually. The Lord of the Rings Commander decks. Aowen makes you knight tokens, and if you're really pushing it, like every single turn. Frodo and Sam make you food tokens. That's great. Sauron gets you an orc token on ETB. Probably, maybe not the best place to put it, but you know you're playing red, so you're probably going to be making treasure tokens in that deck. Also to ramp out your commander faster. Elves, come on, elves are like the tokeniest creature type in Magic. Now I'm not knocking the Spellslinger in black, but some of y'all are paying a whole dollar for a Knight's Whisper, which has the same CMC. So you can, and you lose 2 life, and you're probably going to draw fewer cards for your 2 mana spent. It's especially good if you're playing white. Like, Court of Grace is going to get you a spirit at the floor. Like, that's if you're not the Monarch. And then draw you a card if you're the Monarch. And then you're going to get the draw from the Idol of Oblivion just from making the token at the beginning. Simple things like Beamtown Beatstick giving you a treasure token, or Myriad. That 100% counts as token creature creation. Black Market Tycoon, also another underrated card, gets you a treasure token every turn. Curse of Opulence is super popular, and you can draw cards on your opponent's turn. So if you've got like an unwinding clock or something, you can like untap, and then if somebody attacks the player with the Curse of Opulence, you get a treasure or I think it's a gold token, right? You get a gold token, and then you can tap your Idol of Oblivion to draw another card too, which turns that Curse of Opulence into like kind of you're probably going to attack that player and get it to gold, and your opponents are kind of going to be hesitant because they don't want you to draw that extra card. It even pairs with stronger cards like Bitter Blossom or Bloodforged Battle Axe, because those are probably going to make... Bitter Blossom is definitely going to make you a body. It's going to make you a token. And then Bloodforged Battle Axe will get you another token probably every turn, so you're going to get some card draw out of that. Or how funny would it be if someone like played an Offer You Can't Refuse on your spell, and you just get to tap it and draw a card because you made the 2 treasure tokens. And then what if you draw into the counterspell? Like, this card is so good. It's not to mention the synergy with like that, like, and shout out to Krim, right? That sort of body and mind making that wolf token. That's another card draw. Fairy Artisan, that's another thing you're gonna get a token off of just for your opponent's playing creatures. Like, it's I just feel like it's so valuable. I mean, Prototype Portal can make you token copies of your Idol of Oblivion and get you more opportunities to draw cards by creating the Idol of Oblivion that you're going to tap to draw cards, and then they don't disappear at the end of the turn, so you get to make more and more and more and more. So, like, you get the first one, you pay 2, and you get your first Idol of Oblivion, you can immediately tap it, draw a card. And then the next turn, you pay 2 into it again to make another one, and you've made a token, so you tap both of them, and you draw 2 cards. It's like a build your own the One Ring. Now, I don't think this is as strong as the One Ring, but the One Ring is also a very pushed card, and it's like $60. Anyway, thanks for listening to my rant. If you think I'm overhyping this card, post your horror stories of how badly it worked in your Commander games in the comments. Anyway, I'm Menlo, the Magic Hipster, signing out.